Hello there, and thank you for watching the next video of web penetration testing with Kali Linux. In this video we're going to talk about brute force, CSRF, and file inclusion attacks on DVWA. So to start with, we just log into our DVWA web interface to the address that we have, and we are going to talk about those few sections on DVWA: brute force, CSRF, and file inclusion. So let's just start. We just go to our DVWA web interface and log in with our standard username and password. And basically, first thing we do, just make sure that the security is set on low, which is, so that's good. We're going to start talking about brute force. So brute force is the kind of attack that we're just trying to figure out a username and password by just using random letters and numbers, and basically try to identify what a username's password could be. So I'm just going to type something as a test here, ADM and pass, and click login. So as soon as I do this, you see that username and password is incorrect, but if you look at it right on the top, you see that it's actually passing the username and password right on the URL. So that's kind of a big security risk by itself. So you can see that the parameters are being passed as part of a URL. So that's basically how we can initiate a brute force attack against an application and try to figure out what the username and password could be. So basically, using a third-party application, we could basically find the list of usernames and passwords, or probably random letters and numbers, and basically initiate an attack against this URL. And if we receive a response on the HTTP request, that just means it has been successful. So we will be talking about Burp Suite later in this training, and we can probably cover a bit of this in there, but just keep in mind that's just an easy way of doing a brute force because we're just passing the information over URL. So moving to CSRF, or cross-site request forgery. So you can see here we can basically change administrator's password. So I'm just gonna type pass123 as a password, pass123, and try to change it. So again, the problem that you see here, the password is changed, and you see the way that the password is changed is basically just through a URL. So we're passing everything through a URL and get application to change the password. So we're not really checking the current password, just changing the password. So what CSRF is, basically think about if you have another tab open in your browser and you have another website. So I'm just saying Google, but you can have a malicious website running on your machine. So if that malicious website is aware that this is an application that you're using and basically could embed that code within the website and get you or trick you somehow to click on that link, they could basically simply change your password without you even knowing it, because you're already logged in to the application. You're not doing any confirmation check or anything, and as soon as basically you click on this link, the password would be changed. So if we change these to password 234 and 234, basically the password would change to pass234. So I'm just gonna change this back to password so we're not getting confused in the next videos, but that's basically what is called CSRF. So a malicious website could just trick you into clicking on a link and basically change some parameters. So this is pretty common in banking applications. It was in the past that they were not doing really proper checks, that attacker could get the user to click on a link and transfer an amount to a different account simply without them knowing it. So that's basically called CSRF. The next thing we're going to talk about is file inclusion. So I click on file inclusion. You see that the problem with file inclusion is if you don't have the right privileges or permissions on the system, you could simply just go and basically view information that you're not authorized on the system. So you see that we have a URL and we're just looking at the URL here. But if I just go back to my document here, so you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then etc plus w. So you can what we're trying to do, we're just trying to basically view the password file on our Linux machine. So instead of include, we could just go etc plus wd. So if I did that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc plus wd, and as soon as you do that, you see all the information about your pass wd file is just viewed on the screen, which is a big risk. So we are obviously not doing enough checks on the applications. So that's called file inclusion. Vulnerability that we could basically view some unauthorized files or modify some unauthorized files as well. So that's it for this video. On the next video, we're going to focus on SQL injection attacks, and we talk how they work. Thank you for watching this video, and I will be with you on the next one.